The Writings on the Wall by Destiny's Child. The Writings on the Wall was Destiny's Child's second studio album. Beyonce, Kelly, LeToya, and LaTavia only took 4 months to finish this album. They worked with the likes of Rodney Jerkins, Missy Elliot, Shekspere, and Kandi Burruss, to name a few. This album was released in 1999. How do we feel about it now? Here's our honest review of The Writings on the Wall by Destiny's Child.
The Writings on the Wall by Destiny's Child. Did you hear this back in 1999?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Only reason because my mother played a whole bunch of R&B.
Oh, okay.
Over and over and over.
Well, I actually never heard this album in full until recently.
I think I never took the time to listen to it in full myself, but I heard Bills, 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 Jumpin', Say
Yeah,
My
I mean,
Name,
you heard
all
the
that
singles.
over and over,
Up to before we reviewed this, the only Destiny Child album I had listened to in full was Destiny Fulfilled.
Their final one?
The final album.
Okay.
How you feel about this album artwork?
I think it's all right. It's pretty cool, very 90s-ish. Got the white, and, got the really streaks in the background. I feel like there was a lot of albums with streaks in the background during that time. But yeah, it's okay. Cool.
You don't like this album.
Huh?
You don't like it.
Oh, I'll get to it.
I can hear it in your voice already.
I don't like the cover. I know that.
I think the cover is actually pretty cool because it looks like they've actually grown since the last album artwork.
True.
Because when you look at the self-titled album, Destiny Child, they look a lot younger.
Mm-hmm.
Here they look a little bit more mature. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce is not Queen Bee yet. You know what I'm saying? She's just Beyonce.
Yeah.
And at this point, most people don't even really know much about the other members of the group unless you were like a straight Destiny Child's fan for real.
True.
The flow of this project, it still sounds so 90s. Like, as I was listening to it, I was just like, yo, some of these tactics that were used for production,
yes,
you can find this on any R&B album.
Yes,
like, I was listening
definitely
to some Case. I put on some Case. I put on some old Missy. I was like, yo, all of these sounds and the way these techniques, some Monica, some Brandy, they use all the same techniques in this album. So it just sounds like an album from the 90s, man. You get some slow R&B joints, and then you get the super fast singing, like saying the words super fast.
Yeah.
Like it's just something that was just done a lot back there. A lot of sounds with like random instruments. Like that was just the thing in the 90s.
Yeah, man. It's definitely got that 90s vibe to it because it's just the mannerisms of the production and how it sounds, just like with the it just got that sound. And then the background talking and everything like that, and then the strong vocals and the strong harmonizations and all that. It's very, very 90s.
Highlights, man. Look, first of all, I like the way they started off the album. If you've ever seen Set It Off, and I'm talking as if the person's never heard this album because this is my first time hearing the album in full. So the intro of the album, it sounds like it's from Set It Off, where they're all in they're at work. And they got the cotton balls in their mouth, and they talking like mobsters, and they coming up with rules. Like that's kind of where they took that whole concept from. So it's actually cool, and it's probably like the only song on this project where you hear everybody's voice separately.
I thought I was only gonna say that.
So I thought that was actually cool. So Good is a dope way to start off the album because it's kind of just like everybody that hated on me, everybody in Houston that said I couldn't do what I'm doing. Look, we all here, and it's kind of like it's a feel good fuck you song at the same time. If you get what I'm saying. And shout out to Kandi because Kandi helped put together a couple of hits. You got Bills, 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 the spiritual successor to Scrubs, to No Scrubs. I really like this song. I liked it back then. It is super addictive. The way Kelly is singing, like you trifling, like good for not, like the way she kind of using her voice, like almost it's a smooth staccato in a sense. Temptation is another song. Like I was just like, man, they should have put a little bit more of the slower songs out because I don't recall them ever using a slow song as a single. So Confessions was dope. Temptations was dope. Where'd You Go? I was just like, man, this should have been one of them joints right here. Hey Ladies is another one that actually caught me by surprise, and I was just like, man, this like Kandi helped craft some joints on this joint. Y'all already know about the singles. She Can't Love You is another joint that I was just like, man, this joint is deep. This is probably like my favorite song on the project. I love the way they have the voices layered. Like, so Beyonce did a run where she's singing low, and then she did one where she's singing high.
Yeah.
The instrument sound, the production they use fits that song perfectly. It's a really good song, and I just thought the slow songs really shine on this project, because a lot of the singles, they're cool, but I found them annoying when I was younger, and we'll get to that on the Lowlights.
Well, yeah, singles out the way. We already know Bills, Jumpin', Say My Name, Bugaboo. Already know that. I'm going to ignore those. So Good was a great way to open up an album, like you said, and the intro, Writing on the Wall, was really, really dope. The first one that kind of took me by, like, you know, a little bit surprised was Confessions. And just because it sounded completely different than what I've used to being here, like familiar with Destiny's Child. And I was just like, oh, this is something really dope. This is because it's kind of really different. Now that she's gone, I thought that was really interesting. I like how the melody was on that one. Where'd You Go? I agree with you. That one needed to be like a single or something. Even Hey Ladies. If You Leave was dope. She Can't Love You, though, I really think that should have been like a standout from this project. I don't know. I get probably the period of time everybody wanted something that was really catchy and really vibey and everything like that. But like you said, all the slow songs on here really deserve to stand out. And I thought Stay was a really, really good song. I liked the meaning behind it and everything like that, and the writing. Thought it was really, really cool.
Lowlights. Well, actually, one of my lowlights, it's a highlight and a lowlight at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
On Now That She's Gone, I really like the song, but I think what it is when the song opens up with Kelly, it didn't feel like a necessarily Destiny's Child song.
Why is that?
If you get what I'm saying, because her voice starting the song gave the song a whole different vibe. And it brought me back to the Destiny's Child sound when Beyonce came back, because in my mind, it wasn't until Destiny Fulfilled, and like I said, I didn't hear Survivor that came after that, so I'm not sure. I do know on the song Survivor, they all sing on that song, but I'm just saying, like, to me, Destiny Child was always Beyonce and Beyonce's group. You know what I'm saying? It was never no separation from it. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, like it's like that with every group. You know, Jodeci, Casey and JoJo was the people. Group. Yeah, I mean, Boyz II Men was Wanye's group to me. Yeah. I do know that Sean sung and Homeboy with the Glasses sung as well from time to time. But it was always Wanye's group to me. You know, but I like the way that Kelly started off the song, and after in hindsight, because hindsight is 2020, after hearing LeToya's albums, they should have let her sing lead on some of these songs too, because LeToya ended up being a beast on her own, and she's out doing her thing, Broadway and all the good movies and all of that good stuff. So shout out to LeToya on top of that. But like I said, Bugaboo, it was always annoying to me. Yeah. But I want to say I like the lyrics. I like the way the lyrics are sung. The structure is really good. I like the way the hook is put together. It's just annoying. It's like the song is Bugaboo. The song's like Bugaboo style, if you get what I'm saying. Jumpin'. And the only reason I'm putting this here is because after I remixed it, I can't listen to this version no more. That joint just sound way better.
If y'all don't know what he's talking about, go check out the Tune Trials. If you don't know what he's talking about, go check out the Tune Trials. Right now, go check it out.
Because when I was listening, I was just like, man, that joint just sounds so hard over the Rough Riders anthem beat. Like this Rodney Jerkins. It's not Rodney Jerkins. It was I don't know who this is. Chad Elliott and Rufus Moore. Yeah. Like, it's so cheesy 90s sound to beat. So cheesy. But my real lowlights, that Amazing Grace outro was bad. And the other thing is like, I'm so glad that we had Beyonce the way she is now, because listening to this, she wasn't really impressing me vocally at all on most of anything. Like I want to say 90% of this project, I was not impressed, because she's gotten so much better vocally. So this is definitely like reminiscent of a second project of a group, like they weren't ready yet. And those are my lowlights.
Well, my lowlights will have to do with just the whole idea of Destiny's Child, because it's just like Beyonce.
It's Matthew Knowles' child.
I mean, I really just came away with like, okay, Beyonce is singing lead on every song. I guess she's a lead singer, but, you know, I thought groups will have some kind of input where, oh, a member will do this and a member do that. And Kelly did a lot, you know, but I didn't hear a lot from LeToya or LaTavia. And I'm just like, no, damn. But
LaTavia spoke on the beginning of a couple songs.
That's it, though. And, you know, I get, you know, they got the background vocals and everything like that. But, like, I kind of feel like, you know, it distracted from Beyonce in a sense. And I guess it leads to what you're saying. Like, you know, it's better to see her, how she's grown from this. Because, you know, it seems like when they split up, it kind of made us look at Beyonce in a different light. But also made us look at LeToya different. Made us look at Kelly different and stuff like that. But specifically, Bugaboo, I was never a fan of that song. That was just something that was played out. And Jumpin', I just don't like the beat. I feel like the beat is cheesy and corny, and I feel like the melody made the song hot. I don't think it was the beat. I just think it was just the way they were singing it and everything that made it really hot. Because if you just play that beat, you'd be like, yo, turn this shit off.
Not in the 90s. Not in the 90s.
But yeah, that's it.
Final thoughts. Look, man, like I said, I don't know what LaTavia is doing, but it's so good to see the other three girls prospering and doing a thing to this day.
Yeah.
Like, they've all grown vocally. Like, if they did come back together, you would see them all as stronger members. You wouldn't look at them how you looked at them back then.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? That's definitely a dope thing. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Destiny's Fulfilled did have a lot more slow songs on it. So obviously they knew it was something that worked for them. But usually when it's a group, they usually try to get some dancing going. So I can understand the direction they took with this project. Yeah. But I can definitely say, like, this is not the strongest music I've heard from Destiny's Child.
Yeah, I mean, you know, going back to this and listen to it for, like, you know, in its entirety for the first time, I could see what made them like a breakout group and everything like that. And I could see what stood out about, you know, Beyonce and Kelly here and there and stuff like that. As, like, you know, listen to it now, it doesn't really stand out to me because, you know, of what I've come to garner as a music fan. But I can pick and tell the areas where, oh, this was pretty dope. Oh, this was a nice run and stuff like that. So I can see the development there. But in terms of, you know, just being Destiny's Child's collective as a group, I just really feel like it was just Beyonce and Destiny's Child.
Final grade. Look, if this was 1999, I'd get this joint a check so quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, it doesn't sound like this album has aged well.
Okay.
It's definitely got some dope joints because the slow songs still work. You know, a lot of people still try to emulate that sound just a bit.
Just a bit.
But the hits are still hits. You can't take that away.
True.
Like I said, the slow songs are on point. But as an overall project, like, I can't see myself really rocking it as much in this day and age.
Would you recommend it to somebody who's never?
If you've never heard Destiny's Child, I wouldn't necessarily say start here.
Yeah.
Because I do know around the time that they were doing Survivor, I heard a lot more of those songs because those songs were a lot bigger. So, and I had sisters that, you know, and because I just didn't really rock with them like that.
Right.
This was around this time, 99, that was when Case put the Happily Ever After video out and Beyonce was actually in the video. And I think I was like, oh man, she fine as hell. Mm-hmm. But then when I saw her on Destiny Child, I'm like, oh, she's okay. You know, but in that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so at this point, I wasn't even really paying attention to any of the members at all. You know, I was on my, you know what it was is because I was young and Destiny Child was influencing the young girls I was trying to talk to. Okay. So when they were coming out with bills, they weren't listening to the lyrics. They were just like, yo, can you pay my bills? You know, oh, you riding in the passenger side of your friend's car. You know what I'm saying? So I was on my Sporty Thieves shit. So when they came out with their version of Bills and No Pigeons, that's what I was rocking with.
Oh, man.
So that might give you an idea why I'm giving it a dash.
That is hilarious.
You wasn't on Sporty Thieves?
Bro, I was like 11. But yeah, I feel like, you know, even going back and listening to this, I feel like, you know, there's a lot to pick and choose from here. But if I was to grade it now, I have to give it a dash. I'll say there's a lot that you can get from here, a lot that you can pick back and say, oh, this is where this started and everything like that. But yeah, it's a decent album though. I mean, just for going back 20 years, listen now, like you said, it hasn't really aged well. But there's still a lot of good to come from this project.
Yeah, man, I just want to tell y'all, I fucks with Destiny Child the short way. But this project is cool. It's just cool.